Hey, what's up, you guys? I hope y'all are having a great day today. I want to do a short video talking about what is going on in the Middle East with Israel, with the war. I put a poll on my community page, and I wanted to see what you guys thought as far as if this is going to turn into World War III or if we're pretty much already in World War III. I know that, of course, there's definitions for what a world war is and what it constitutes and all of that, but I wanted to see what y'all's thoughts were. So, as of this morning, about 50%, a little over 50% of the people that did the poll said that we are already in World War III. About 17% said no, this is not World War III, and then 30% said maybe soon. This might turn into World War III. So there's been a lot going on. Honestly, I feel like I'm not even going to cover all of it. Honestly, I really can't. I looked at a bunch of news articles over the last few days, but it was like every time I was like, I'm going to write this down so I can talk about it in the video, there was always something else that happened, sadly. So Iran launched missiles at Israel. This is a really big deal, right? And Israel just attacked Beirut as well with airstrikes. At least one of the articles that I read was labeling the situation as like an apocalyptic thing in Lebanon. That's an apocalyptic situation. And Israel is also warning people to evacuate from southern Lebanon. 8 Israeli soldiers were killed in combat with Hezbollah just recently. So honestly, there's a lot of news about this. We are in a war. So whether, like the US is going to fully jump in and help with the situation, I don't know. But if this turns into World War III, then I'm assuming that, Russia, China are going to join in with Iran to come against Israel, and that this will turn nuclear at some point. If it's going to be World War III, then there's going to be weapons of mass destruction. And we also have that prophecy in Isaiah 17:1, that talks about the destruction of Damascus, to where it will no longer exist. It will cease being a city. So that hasn't happened yet. Obviously, Damascus is still a city, a thriving city. So if this turns nuclear, then Damascus very well could be wiped off of the planet and cease being a city. One of the other things that I just was brainstorming was, will the next ceasefire peace deal that comes out of this war in the Middle East, will it actually be like the Antichrist confirming the covenant of Daniel 9:27? Will we see a peace deal before that and then a period of quote unquote peace? It's not real peace. Or will this escalate into World War III and will lead up to the Antichrist confirming the covenant of Daniel 9:27? Because, like I said, if this is World War III, the world, many countries are going to get involved. There's going to be weapons of mass destruction, and we would basically destroy each other off the face of the earth by using nuclear weapons. So there would have to come a breaking point. At some point, someone would step up, and someone's going to be looking for a world leader to solve the world's problems. So someone's going to step up, and that person's going to be the Antichrist. So it's just interesting to think out loud, as Brother Chooch says, when we are looking at current events and how they relate to Bible prophecy and what is going on in our world today. And so, of course, we do not know, we don't have 100% all the answers. We're just talking about this with each other. So this isn't, thus says the Lord and this and that, but I was just wondering if you guys had any thoughts or any comments on what is going on right now with Israel, with Hezbollah, Hamas, Iran. So you can drop a comment below, and I will be interested in hearing what you guys have to say. So just some other things that I do want to mention, because honestly, there's been a lot going on, not just in the Middle East, but like all over the place, all around the world. Here in the United States, of course, we have unprecedented flooding due to Hurricane Helene, and that is more on our East Coast, right? That's on the East Coast, and I think North Carolina was affected the greatest from that. It seems like most of the media is covering the flooding in North Carolina, just the tragedy of it. And there were actually some articles that were calling it like a flood of like biblical proportions, just the damage and the destruction that was caused by the hurricane. They're saying that this is like a biblical proportion, biblical scale kind of event. So it's really interesting that, news sources are saying that, articles are saying that, because we are in the end times. I do believe that the rapture is going to be very, very soon. So I'm not surprised that we're seeing a million things escalate. What's going on in the Middle East, also natural disaster type destruction. We've been seeing some outages. I think it was the Bank of America that had an outage the other day. And then where I'm at, about 2 days ago, we had a Verizon outage. I feel like we've been having these outages like right and left. And so for those of you who don't know, I'm a nurse. And so like in the hospital where I work, a lot of our system will get messed up. Things won't work. We can't document electronically, just things like that. And so I feel like we've had more of those incidents this year than we have in the past that I've known of. Every now and then they do a system downtime, which is scheduled, is planned. It is for maintenance. But of course, we know it's going to happen beforehand. But whenever we have these other types of outages and these other problems, we are, of course, not quite ready for that. And so I feel like we've had so many of those this year, maybe just over the past few years, not just this year, but it's been getting a lot more frequent. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that. Of course, we know that we are so involved in technology. I mean, we are on our phones all the time. They're not only distracting us, but it's also a way of controlling us. So if we are going about our everyday life and we are like, technology is just so invested in our everyday life, whether that is our personal cell phone or what we do at work with our computers, our systems, things like that, our banks. Everything is electronic now. So it's a way of controlling people, controlling the chaos. And we will see that. Well, those of us who believe in Jesus won't personally see that during the tribulation, because we will be raptured beforehand. But this is something that the world will see during the tribulation period. It's all about control, because you're going to have that antichrist system. You're going to have the false prophet. You're going to have the mark of the beast. And all of that is going to be about controlling everyone, no matter if they're rich, poor, free, slave. Doesn't matter where you live, if you're in a third world country or in a well-established, well-developed country. It is all about control. And so we see a lot of stuff that's like leading up to that. But anyways, you guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day. That's all I have for you. God bless you, and I will see you on the clouds very, very soon. It is a great day to be raptured.